process of trying to hire. Currently, we still have one conditional offer out there. Civil Service is going to have a special meeting tomorrow to approve our eligibility list and expect to send offers, conditional offers out later this week to complete our hiring process.
Was that one or two more conditional offers that were you going to do?
I need 4 more.
Okay.
So I have 1 and I'm trying to hire 5. So
5 total for the year.
5 total.
Wow. Okay. That being no other items on the safety committee meeting, I'm guessing some of the residents have items they would like to speak on safety issues. Please try to do this in an orderly manner. Yep. Your first and last name and your address, please, sir.
Michael. Hello, council. Hello, everybody. Good to see you here. I'm here to share my opinion about the police chief and the mayor's mishandling of the police department issues and the way the city is handling this investigation into the chief. This stinks to me like some sort of cover-up, and there are red flags everywhere as far as I can see, or at least is what has been shown to us. Now, I have children, and when I catch my children doing something wrong, I begin to ask questions. What's happening? They first start getting defensive, try to attack me, the person asking the questions. When that doesn't work, they try to vilify someone else, like who is the snitch, and then try and pin it all on them. And when that doesn't work, then they try to hurriedly hide the evidence. But that never works because I dig and keep asking questions, and the truth finally comes out. So far in this situation, we had someone doing something that they shouldn't. The chief altering the police reports and fostering a toxic workplace according to his officers. And the mayor rubber stamping that everything's okay and don't look over here, nothing to see. Then we started asking questions, and that wasn't received very well. In December, there was what I and others in the room took as a threat from city officials about the consequences of our free speech and how that might get us, the citizens, into legal trouble with the city, simply by stating our concern about possible compromised leadership at the very top levels. This is the attack the questioner part. Then the mayor and law director refused to hand over any evidence or reports. Why? Because they want to conduct an internal investigation, which was twice as rigorous as the original investigation into actual possible crimes, to see if they could find a leaker. The law director also wrote a letter, I'm sure we're going to get into that a little bit, and when read by myself and others, has the tone of trying to lay blame squarely on the arresting officer, and told us to reject what we all saw in the arrest video. According to the letter by the law director, the arresting officer did the wrong thing. This is the try to blame others, and truly a reprehensible part. But we saw clearly through that letter. Now, if we continue to follow the example of my children, we should find ourselves at the hide the evidence part. This is why I believe that the citizens of North Royalton need to demand transparency and a thorough independent investigation into both the arrest, the subsequent issues from the arrest, and the state of our police department as a whole. It is not well. The mayor sent out a statement which said that finding no issue with the chief's action was his decision to make, and he is standing by it as a leader. Well, that's fine, but it was the wrong decision. It needs to be corrected. That's why I'm calling for City Council to conduct an independent investigation according to Article 18, Paragraph D, investigations. The council or any committee thereof or any board appointed by the council for such purposes shall have the power at any time to consider the affairs of any department or the conduct of any officer or employee to be investigated. We don't have to take their word for it. It's not case closed. We can make up our own minds. For the sake of the officers, the safety of the citizens, and for the unblemished truth, I'm begging you to please initiate an investigation into this entire scenario, from the mayor to the chief to anyone else involved in this mess. Then make the results public to the citizens of North Royalton so that we may rest easy, knowing that our city has our best interests first and foremost in their minds, by ensuring corruption does not fester at the highest levels of office in North Royalton. Thank you.
My name is Melissa Lowe. I am Spencer Lowe's wife. I know that we are not, we don't live in this city. However, my husband has put his life on the line several times for your city and has helped several criminals. And also our family has been threatened several times by your
Melissa,
criminals.
can I interrupt? Can I have
Sure.
your address?
It's 12698 Orville Street, North Lawrence, Ohio, 44666. So with all due respect, I'm going to say a little bit. These are my kids, Carter, Luke, and Dakota. And so, you know, when I was writing something up yesterday, Spencer came home saying that he was losing his job. Very stressful, obviously, when we think he did, you know, having boys, we try to raise them with integrity and to do the best thing, even when it's hard. So I wrote something. It's not, you know, anger or anything like that, but I hope you take these words, think about them overnight, and think, how am I living? What does my character say to other people? So, like I said, my name is Melissa. You guys obviously don't know me right now, but I hope by the end of this, you will remember me. I hope you will remember the faces of my children and my husband. So today I want to talk about integrity, not when things are easy, but when things are hard. Integrity is often defined as doing the right thing when no one is watching. Sorry, okay. But I believe the true test of integrity comes when people are watching, especially when circumstances are unfair or unjust. Recently, Spencer experienced something many police officers fear, arresting a fellow officer for drunk driving, to which I might remind you that guy did admit on the body cam footage. He also found the gun on him that day of the arrest, not just in the vehicles. Again, that's in the body cam footage. After all this is a question, oftentimes, after all, the question is, you know, during interviews, what would you do if you had to arrest another officer for drunk driving? Therese, I think you can attest that you probably asked that during interview questions several times. What did you answer? Pardon me?
Can you keep your comments, Council,
Sure.
please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, what would you do if you pulled over another officer who had been drinking? True to Spencer's word, and during his interviews, he arrested and charged him, which ultimately caused him the loss of his job. Being terminated can feel like a judgment of your value, your effort, or your character. It can bring frustration, embarrassment, anger, and doubt. In those moments, it's easy to respond emotionally. It's easy to speak poorly about others, to burn bridges, or to let bitterness take over. But integrity asks something different of all of us. Integrity asks us to stand by our values, even when the outcome didn't go our way. It asks us to leave the professionalism, to treat others with respect, and to protect our reputation, not through what we say about ourselves, but through how we conduct ourselves. Because here's the truth. Jobs can be taken away, titles can change, but your character belongs to you. Integrity means choosing dignity over retaliation. It means recognizing that how we leave a place often says more about us than how we entered it. Being terminated does not define a person's worth or their future. Many of the most successful, respected people have faced rejection, setbacks, and unexpected findings. What separates them is not that they avoided hardships, but they refused to let hardships compromise who they are. Integrity means continuing to show up in the world with honesty, humility, and professionalism, even when it's going against a chief's multiple, or even the mayor. Because people remember integrity, they remember how someone carried themselves, and long after a job ends, a reputation for integrity continues to open many doors. So I ask you, how will you be remembered? How will you be remembered will you be remembered by standing by what is right or by what is easy? Will you say you live a life of integrity but fail to stand up for what is morally right? Will you continue to teach your children, grandchildren, family, what it means to have integrity, but turn the other cheek when it does not pertain to you? When we go home tonight, I know that my kids are seeing and learning what true integrity means and how to be upstanding men. Can you all say the same? That's all I have. So.
Yes.
All right, good evening. I have distributed to each of you a copy of a letter that you previously have received. If you could take a moment, I'd like to review a few specific points with you. Paul, I left one on your
Yeah, I'm
desk.
sorry. I was getting my head out of the way. I'll move on.
Oh, you're fine. Okay. If you could please look at the first page, the 5th paragraph. I believed I numbered each paragraph. In that paragraph, the letter states that Mr. McDonald, along with the chief and the lieutenant, agreed that the traffic stop made by Officer Spencer Lowe on Patrick O'Callahan was a weak stop. It goes on to claim there was lack of evidence, stating that there was no breathalyzer test, no odor of alcohol, and no field sobriety test, noting that Mr. O'Callahan lawfully declined those tests. The letter then states, in Mr. Kelly's own words, nonetheless, as weak as the evidence was to support the arrest, the prosecutor determined to stand by the officer and pursue the traffic cases. I would now like to bring your attention to the video footage that I have provided. In this first clip, you will see the first portion of the traffic stop. As you watch it, I ask that you begin to determine for yourselves whether this appears to be a valid stop. Please pay close attention to Mr. O'Callahan's slurred speech, his admission to drinking alcohol, and his inability to pronounce Cuyahoga.
Howdy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm Officer Lowe with the Royalton Police Department. You know I stopped you?
Was I speeding?
Coming down the hill, you were definitely speeding. Then you went left to center right there in front of Advanced Auto. And then while you were coming down the hill around the corner there, you were also left to center.
Oh, okay.
Where are you coming from tonight?
Just coming home.
Where are you coming from?
I'm coming home.
I understand where you're going. I'm asking you where you came from.
Can I show you this or no?
Deputy Chief for Orange?
Yes.
Orange County?
Yes.
Where's that at?
It's no.
Huh?
Orange. It's in Cuyahoga.
It's what?
It's Cuyahoga County.
Okay. How much have you had to drink tonight, sir?
Not much.
What's not much?
Not much.
Okay.
I'm just coming home.
All right, sit tight.
Next, you will see Officer Lowe speaking with another officer about the distress he is experiencing at the thought of having to arrest another officer. I would ask you to consider why Officer Lowe would feel that level of distress. Why would he be nervous about the possibility of arresting another officer for driving while intoxicated? These are questions I believe deserve serious consideration.
No. Deputy Chief for Orange, and he's drunk. Dude, it's just my luck. No, it is a bad thing. It's a terrible thing because I keep getting all these daggone people that are making poor decisions that shouldn't be making poor decisions. Hold on a second.
Now, I ask that you refer back to the letter from Tom Kelly, our law director. If you look at paragraph 6, it states that after further review of the evidence, it was the opinion of the chief, lieutenant, and prosecutor that the search of the vehicle was wholly improper, constitutionally infirm, and a violation of the defendant's Fourth Amendment rights. In other words, the letter claims that when Officer Lowe later discovered multiple firearms in the vehicle, that discovery was unconstitutional because the officer allegedly had no legal basis to search the vehicle. At the end of that same paragraph, you'll see where our law director states that he fully supported that decision. However, what Mr. Kelly fails to include is that Patrick O'Callahan had a firearm on his person. Even if someone were to argue that the vehicle search was improper, Mr. O'Callahan clearly had a firearm on him. That fact would have been discovered regardless of any subsequent search of the vehicle.
Hey Patrick, can you step out of the car for me, please?
I live right here.
I understand that, but you kind of put me in. You've put me in a bad spot. Okay.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
You know exactly why, because you've had too much to drink. You were coming down the hill at over 50 mile an hour. You went left to center several times.
No, I wasn't. So.
Okay.
I wasn't.
Do you have a firearm on you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Step out of the car. Don't grab for it, please.
All right.
Step out of the car.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious. Step out of the car, please.
My question for Law Director Tom Kelly, if he were here, would be why does he agree that the gun charges should have been dropped when Mr. O'Callahan clearly had a firearm on him?
Where's your firearm at?
It's in my pocket.
Don't reach for it.
No,
I'll get
I'm
it.
not. I know Zahersky. I know.
At this point, I'd like you to take note that Patrick O'Callahan states that he knows Officer Zahersky. That will become relevant later. Next, please pay attention as you see Mr. O'Callahan stabilizing himself on the vehicle as he walks towards the back.
Let's walk back here real quick, please.
I'm not doing anything. So. I live right here, so that's fine.
Next, you'll see Mr. O'Callahan refuse the field sobriety tests.
All right, listen. I don't like this at all, okay? But you've put me in this situation to make a decision.
I did?
Yes, you did. You decided to drink and drive when you know you shouldn't have been.
Okay.
All right? So, I'm going to ask you to run you through some field sobriety tests to make sure that you're okay to get home.
I'm right here, though. You know that.
I'm aware of that, and as you have told me several times already. Okay, sir. So, are you going to consent to taking field sobriety tests?
No.
Okay. So, as you are aware, and everybody else is aware, that if you don't do these things, then I have to make a decision based off of my observations, as you are already aware, correct?
What's your observation?
Slow slurred speech, red, glossy, watery eyes,
Okay.
you're speeding coming down the hill, left
You
to
said that,
center.
yes.
It's on camera. And it's unfortunate, but those are my observations.
Okay. You know I live right there. Right there.
I know, you keep telling me that. You keep telling me that. So you don't want to take any field sobriety tests?
No.
You don't want to provide a breath sample to
Nope.
prove that you haven't had anything to drink tonight?
No.
Next, you'll see the point of view from Officer Zahersky's body camera footage as Mr. O'Callahan speaks with a third officer on the scene. Listen as he describes knowing Officer Zahersky while Officer Zahersky is standing just a few feet away.
I live right there. Seriously?
So that excuses the fact that you drove in this condition?
No, that's not what I was saying. Okay. Okay. call Jimmy Kimmel. You call him. I'm good friend. I'm literally fucking whatever. Okay, that's fine. I know Zahersky. I know
Do you know him?
Zahersky. Yeah,
What's he look like?
he's a big bald motherfucker. I know. Okay.
Said you know Steve Zahersky?
I know Steve. Yeah. I actually arrested a fucking people. Whatever. And they broke into you guys probably weren't even here, but they broke into what was the place next to what the fuck is it?
Next, you'll see Officer Zahersky and Officer Lowe discussing the intoxication of Patrick O'Callahan. They note that Mr. O'Callahan says he knows Zahersky, however, he does not recognize that he's standing right there. They appear to be in agreement that Mr. O'Callahan is extremely under the influence of alcohol. And I'm just going to note at this point, you cannot watch this video footage and think that man is sober. No one can.
I've never seen this guy before in my life.
Apparently he doesn't know you because if he did,
I can't see.
if he did know you, he would say, oh look, there's Steve Zahersky standing right in front of him.
He claims he knows me. That's,
What's your opinion? I mean, I think you said too much to drink. I think you
I
had too much to drink.
don't. I'm standing right in front of him. He said a big bald motherfucker. We smell it. I mean, he doesn't want to do the test. Don't do the test. I mean, you got to go by what you got.
Next, you'll see Mr. O'Callahan profusely apologizing for what he did if he did it.
I'm really sorry if I did this. I'm really sorry that I did. I'm like fucking 2 seconds from my home. I'm really sorry if I did this. I'm really sorry about this. I really am.
You know,
I know Kimmel. I know.
I'm sorry about this as well to an extent, but again, you've put us in this position, all right?
But I'm here. So
I get that.
I get that. I understand that.
I get that.
I understand that.
So, you know, you're not giving me a whole lot to go off of because I'm asking. You're telling me that you feel comfortable to drive, apparently, correct?
Well, I'm here. I mean,
I understand that, as you've stated numerous times already. But what I'm saying is, if you think that you're okay to drive, then you should be able to perform field sobriety tests, yes? Or at least provide a breath sample to show that you're not under the influence of alcohol, correct?
but I'm in this place right now.
Could you answer one or both of those questions for me, please?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Okay. All right. Put your hands behind your back, please.
So let's be clear. Our city's law director, Tom Kelly, states that he finds this traffic stop weak and the arrest weak. It's right there in that letter that he wrote to you guys. I don't know if he didn't watch the video. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me. He's our law director, the person responsible for upholding the law in this city. But after reviewing the evidence that you have just seen with your own eyes, I imagine many of you may come to a different conclusion. Officer Lowe noticed that the felony gun charges had been removed from his police report. Concerned about that change, he gathered the evidence and reported it to his attorney, as well as the mayor, who also serves as the city's safety director. Instead of being thanked for bringing an issue forward, he was fired yesterday for allegedly sharing the information improperly. So I have to ask, how was he supposed to share it? Should he have followed protocol and went up the chain of command and given it to the chief who he suspected of the wrongdoing? Mayor, many officers in this department have expressed serious concerns about leadership and accountability. When an officer raises an issue that deserves scrutiny, the response should not be retaliation. What message does that send to the officers of this city or to the public about transparency and accountability? That's something that council and this community deserves answers to. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to address the Safety Committee meeting this evening?
My name's Jason. Just a couple of things I'd like to say. I've formally retired here from this community. Some of you I know from around town. Graduated here in '94, put in 26 years, currently live here. Kind of sad at this point with everything that's been going on, us in the news. It's like black eyes. And I think council, you should be concerned about it. I've had to work in this agency with administration. I've had to work with patrol. I was in a unique position to be able to work with everybody. Lately, over years, and this may be going back over time, there's been a dramatic change. A change in manpower, the do more with less mentality from past administrations. That's had an effect to the point it burned me out in the city. I gave all I could until I gave up. In this last year, last 12 months, I gave up on many things. Doing everything for the schools, the passing bus complaints, traffic complaints, sitting in your neighborhoods. Former Michael Wose, when in his neighborhood, I was everything, tried to do everything for everyone. And currently, you know, we have less officers overall than we did 2.5 decades ago. Now, that may not be your fault per se, but that is a trend. Guys are burning out. You know, they can only do so much. How we got here today, is it the administration's fault? Is it the union's fault? Whose fault is it? I look at it at this point and go, you know what? Does it matter? The damage is done. The publicity we have, it's out there. And how do you want to get guys to come into this agency and give all when they're worried about what's going to happen to them? And again, I'm not necessarily here to say it's one person's fault or the other. I described, in my mind, over the last few years, going into work was like a hostile work environment. What is motivating me to do anything for anybody? I can only do so much. And it's a shame with what I see. I hope you as council, at some point in time, I hope everybody can get together at some point in time to resolve this. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me no more. I've pulled my pin. But it's the residents who may be suffering, one way or the other, okay? To get to the law director, Tom Kelly, I almost want to laugh at what that guy's got to tell you, okay? It's upsetting to hear what he says. He's a lawyer, okay? His job is to protect the city's interests, not per se mine, not per se the unions, unless it benefits the city, okay? To tell you folks that this traffic stop was weak in and of itself. In 26 years, okay, I've arrested many people for operating under the influence based on their driving, a crash, other circumstances. Just because you don't have a PBT on the side of the road, just because they don't do field sobriety tests, does not mean you're not going to jail. Does not mean you are not going to be convicted in a court of law. I must have missed that in training, but it does happen because I've done it, okay? It's always nice to have the extras, but that's not always the case. So for him to tell the public or tell the people that that's a weak stop, I don't know what is a good stop. I happen to know the individual in question that was taken into custody that day. My name comes up on the video. Obviously, the first name wasn't correct, but the last name was, okay? So, again, I'm not knocking that individual, But based on what the officer did, and we're not gonna go into why, should he, could he, whatever, he made a decision. We're gonna start letting people go because we don't have PBTs. We're not gonna arrest them because they didn't do a field sobriety test and watch them go kill somebody, themselves or your family member. No, you can still arrest people. You have the probable cause. You can still get a conviction, okay? That's up to the judge and the jury, not the law director. He's giving you an opinion. And again, opinions change every day. Just watch the news, okay? So I'm a little bit of offended by that because again, yeah, some people may skate, if you will, based on some technicalities. But at the end of the day, these people, if they're still probable cause, they still have to go because they are still a threat. I've dealt with many fatalities over the years, a lot of them alcohol related. Fortunately, no additional innocents were taken from that. So again, our agency, I'm hoping, at least I'm out of it, but the city, I'm hoping at some point in time, everybody can get back to business without being worrying about what is going on at the agency. Get back to work. The job is fun. We love the job. They have to get out there and do it. But they're not going to if they think they're going to be sacrificed. Is it management's fault? The union, I'm not going to play the blame game. I'm just telling you, it's sad right now. And unfortunately, you folks live in town like I do. We need these guys to get back out there doing the job without worrying you got a bad stop. That's for the courts to deal with. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to address the safety committee this evening?
I have one more thing I'd like
Sure.
to say. Nicole, as Mr. Kimmel said, the law director claimed it's a weak stop. I also want to note, according to him, the chief and lieutenant also claimed it was a weak stop. Mayor, I don't know your opinion. Your name's not listed on there. Am I able to ask, do you believe that was a weak stop?
Can you address the council, please?
I can't
Well,
answer.
he's not a police officer either.
Well, no, okay, that's fine.
So he
with
may
that-
not have the technical
Sure.
skills. That's what I'm trying to.
No worries. Okay, with that being said, Mayor, I believe the mayor had a conversation with a group, all of the officers, a huge group of the officers, when the vote of no confidence came against the chief. I suggest that maybe instead of having a group, the whole group there, with cameras in the room, with the officers already intimidated that they're gonna lose their jobs by the chief, maybe have one-on-one conversations with them in a private area, and you might find out a lot more truth as to what the problem is, because I promise you, they're all in agreement of what it is. They told you in a vote of no confidence.
Okay, that part I will answer, because after I had that group meeting, and I don't know the exact time frame of how far after, I actually wrote a letter and asked if I could have one-on-one meetings with every single police officer that wanted to. The union sent a letter saying that they did not want me to do that.
Sure.
So I did offer to do that because I thought it was a good idea to get people one-on-one where we could just sit, talk,
Sure.
and try to figure things out. So the union stopped me from doing that.
Okay, understood. My guess is that the union was trusting that by having all of these officers' signatures in a vote of no confidence, that was enough, and I'm guessing at that point they lost trust.
I don't know, they didn't give me a reason why, they just said they didn't
Sure.
want that to happen. I don't understand. I
vote-
never understood why that wasn't
Sure.
a good idea. Then I also did try to break it down a little bit more. I took some extra time and tried to meet up with the shifts inside the, before they started work and try to get some more feedback that way. So I had been, try to be proactive with that.
Has the chief, did you ever have the chief go in for any type of leadership training on top of, based on this vote of no confidence? And I'm only asking these questions because he's volunteering to answer them.
No,
It's So after a vote of no confidence by, I think it was over 80% of the employees that work for him, you don't think that he should have to go even get a slap on the wrist for that. The problem is in front of you. Why you're protecting him, I don't understand, and no one understands. But I'm telling you right now, you have 5 spots open. People are gonna keep leaving, and you're not gonna get people to come and fight for our city. You need to look at where the problem lies and stop protecting him and start protecting the employees that work there.
Hello, members of council. My name's Spencer Lowe. I'm was a employee here of the city. I wasn't going to say anything, but I feel inclined to say that based off of my wife's conversation and the letter that she read about integrity, regardless of what happens to me currently, I would have done everything all over again. And regardless of me keeping my job or not keeping my job, I would have done it all over again. And I forgive anybody that has any kind of involvement in this. That's all I wanted to say. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Good Chair, Royalton, Ohio. Mayor, you just stated that you wanted to have a one-on-one with a union without union representation. Did you have the law director with you?
No.
Were you going to have the law director with you? I'm an old union guy, and there's not a union guy out here that wouldn't want a union rep at a interrogation like that. Sorry to tell you, and that's why they said no. Because there's not a union guy in here that's going to let you interrogate a union guy with representation. That's all I have to say.